Morning, Cherrien here with this lemon ginger shot. I've been swapping my morning coffee for. One night I was just randomly racked with guilt for not taking better care of myself, so Instagram made me buy it. Think it's supposed to be the new that girl drink. I've been doing it for a week now, and as soon as I wake up I'll take a shot of this and then maybe a glass of lemon water, and if I still feel like a coffee after, I will have it. I'm just trying to avoid it on empty stomachs, but yeah, still not sure if I want to incorporate this into a full habit. We shall see how it plays out. It has a little bit of kick to it, which is what I think wakes me up. I feel like every viral TikTok trend is just, I don't know, not worth the hype most times, but I've been trying to find ways to slowly reduce my caffeine intake. If I have to have coffee like later in the afternoon, I will try and switch to decaf, especially when I'm out with my friends and grabbing a cup of coffee. And most cafes now do have a decaf option, so I think I've been getting better sleep, better quality sleep since this whole decaf routine. But for someone who's been so addicted to coffee, to get them to move and start the day, it's been hard. So far I haven't felt the compulsive need to like inhale caffeine into my body in the morning, so maybe it's working, but again, we'll see. Currently on the Atonement, and I haven't formed an opinion on it yet because I'm only about 3 chapters in, but right before this I finished the bell jar, or the fig tree as I like to call it, and loved it. Wouldn't go as far as saying I adored it because the second half did get a bit harder for me to digest, but the first half, especially the bit with the fig tree analogy, I have never felt more seen. Don't know what that says about me, but you're entitled to your own assumptions. Also been reading this simultaneously. It's The Book of All Loves by Augustine Fernandez Mello, and I was utterly confused. At first, I was complaining to friends left and right about how my brain was too small for this book. I literally could not understand a word he was saying, but I think I'm kind of into it now. I sound like such a sadist, and maybe I am, but really intrigued. I don't think I've ever read anything quite like this before. It's constructed into 4 parts, and each part is made up of these conversations between a man and a woman, followed by like short, brief essays, which was the confusing part for me, and then again followed by a story about this couple in Venice, which is honestly my favorite. But yeah, I'm really into it now, and it's from the Fitzcarraldo editions. I think I really love all their books. It says this book was printed with plant-based inks with FSC certified paper, which is cool, I guess. Normally I would not have pasta first thing when I wake up, but I just had some leftover from last night, so reheated it. I do have a few things planned this month, and one of them is partaking in a flea market hosted by a friend, and I'm supposed to be bringing in all my stuff today because it's actually tomorrow, so we're taking some inventory, planning to clear out bits of my summer wardrobe. you know, stuff that I just don't see myself really wearing anymore. Gonna put them up for a fairly reasonable price. I don't really plan on making bank from this. Plus it's nearly winter now, so I feel like it's the fair thing to do. Yeah. Just came out to take a walk because I feel that winter is circling the area and it's only been a minute since fall, so I'm trying to soak up all the fall foliage while I can. And I think someone's giving like a guided walking tour. You can kind of hear voices in the background, don't mind me. I have a few things planned for November. My October was pretty chill, bordering on slow, but this month is pretty packed. Maybe it's the pre-holiday rush, but I have friends coming in from all over. I am taking part in a flea market and teaching a ceramics class, or actually hosting it, and may or may not have a few exciting collaborations lined up for the end of the year. Still not sure, working things out. But yeah, so all in all, fun. I'm very grateful that none of these schedules doesn't feel like work, even though it probably kind of is. And again, I'm just so grateful for that, because I remember a time when I had a full schedule just full of work and that I just didn't want to do, but now it's actually things that I'm looking forward to, so really happy about that. On packed months like this, whenever I'm sorting out my schedule, I think I prioritize balance over productivity, because it's such a relative term and everyone has different ideas on what they think a productive day is and how to achieve it. So what works for me may not essentially work out for you, but what I do is I intentionally underestimate myself and plan things according to that, meaning at the end of the day I want to feel like I could probably do more rather than feel super proud of myself for getting so much done, for that fleeting sense of accomplishment only to pass out for the next few days and just feel horrible about it, and then make up for it by planning another super busy day and yeah, let the cycle repeat itself. It was just not a good work pace for me per se. So I think taking on smaller daily or weekly loads improves my long-term productivity in terms of that balance and just overall sustainability. For instance, this month I would arrange my schedule around the more fixed ones, like for example this flea market or ceramics class, and spread out the rest in intervals so that there's a decent amount of time before the next thing I have to do. And that includes friend dates, because although I love all my friends like dearly, I do need some me time. And so today I think is one of those in-between days, as I now call it, where I just, relax, have maybe a slow morning, and yeah, just overall start the day a bit slower and just explore around like I am doing right now, maybe vlog a little bit. So a day to just basically do nothing, I guess. But I don't really like to think of it as nothing, because then it makes me feel like I'm so unproductive. And when you think about it, it's not really doing nothing. I think it's just your guilt eating you up. And obviously everyone's work capacity is different. Mine is definitely on the lower side, which I can now willingly admit to you guys. I remember putting myself down in the past for not having the most expansive workload compared to everyone else, and I used to think I was like really weak or just lazy, and it got me nowhere. If anything, it made me even less productive. On my bad days, I think I still do tend to think like that, but now it's more like a passing thought rather than just a toxic mindset, so I don't really feel confined within those thoughts anymore. Yeah, I know I'm talking a lot, but I just really wanted to share with you guys, especially going into this new month, because I feel like some of you watching may operate the same way, and in these cases it always helps to know that there's someone who's similar, or dare I say even worse than you are. So yeah, all things aside, we're in this together. It's still a new month, and November is never too late for anything, so
잘 지내셨어요?
네.
아, 너무 덥지 않아요?
아니에요.
괜찮아요?
네,
따뜻해?
네.
밖에 추워가지고
네.
어떻게 하냐면은 일단 지금은 캔거 여기 있고
네.
시스템이
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. Do you remember what so big and
No, I don't know either. So
아, 맞아.
Another peaceful day out. It's a bit warmer than yesterday, actually. I think I overdressed again. But I think Seoul's officially entering sweater weather along with the rest of the world, finally. Was gonna see an exhibit, but apparently it's already over, so didn't get to see it. And plus there were like a lot of people on that street. I think they were all there to catch the last glimpse of the autumn foliage, but yeah, unintentionally ran into a crowd. Just sat down to catch my breath a little bit. I seem to be out a lot this week. I think I'm just trying to be out as much as I can until the city turns severely cold for the winter. I think this is literally our last chance to be out in the perfect weather, because October was still a bit too warm for my liking. Right now, it's not too warm, but it's also not too cold. Like, I don't need to be wearing a super heavy jacket. As you can see, I'm just wearing a cardigan. Yeah. I also just ran into a couple on the verge of a breakup, I think. So, yeah, today just isn't the day for me. I either run into a super long line or a huge crowd or awkward situations. I feel like I'm going into, just mentally and physically, going into perpetual laziness. I don't want to phrase it as laziness, but you know, I can't help it. I love that the colder weather is giving a more cozier, just overall quieter vibes to just my everyday, but also in a weird mental state, I guess. And I feel like it's also a universal feeling that even though it is a new month, like November is so close to the end of the year that we feel like we can't really try new things or bring about change. And I just want to, I guess, sort of shift away from that, or at least force myself to. So I'm trying to pick up new things, trying to reach out to people, like seek opportunities for myself, because I feel like if I get into this laziness now, then I won't be able to get out of it until like next January or February. A lot of people, sorry, I'm sniffling. So yeah, I just want to say again that November could still be a new month. I feel like my mind's a bit all over the place because there's just people passing by and I'm kind of embarrassed for talking to myself yet again. But yeah, I just want to say we're all in this together. Despite this being the nearly last month of 2024, I just hope that doesn't stop you from putting yourself out there and being productive and doing like mental resets or whatnot. Yeah. And if you ever do feel stuck, just know that I am right there with you. On a brighter note, happy November, guys. Happy new month. And for those of you who actually enjoy this time of year, because, you know, the end of the year can get a bit exciting as well as dreadful. Congrats, we made it to the end of 2024 almost. Yeah, I'll see you soon and hope you stay well and happy.